Alright, welcome Eric Flight viewers. It's been a long time. It's my busiest month at the job. Let me verify that my microphone's working here. It looks like it is. It looks like we're good. So welcome back. It's been a wicked long time. But I'm excited to actually do a flight tonight. And I'm kind of pushing the midnight oil as we speak. Burning the midnight oil here because I've had to try to fit this in. So we're going to make this happen. We're going to try to get as close as we can to Brandon, Manitoba. And we're doing basically the return flight from my Star Trek pilgrimage flights here. So we're at Vulcan Airport, Charlie Foxtrot X-Ray 6 from Vulcan, Alberta. And that was the last airport we landed at for our pilgrimage flight. And we're going to be flying across Canada now to get back to Plymouth Municipal ultimately. So that's what we are pretty much doing here. So, yeah, welcome to the broadcast. Let's get this thing going. Alright, let's take a look at the tablet. We are in the same Cirrus we did all the flights with. And I'm not running. Oh, nice. I forgot to push the mirroring. See, I knew I would forget something. But it's cool. We'll get there. Let me turn this off for a second then. Do that. And we'll see if it's working. Here we go. Nope, because it's doing the other one. Okie dokie. Should I recall it? Recall. But I want it to run in its own window. Alright, let me touch this up a little bit. I'll be right back with you. Sure, and I gotta go to my other thing here. This is gonna look weird, so just go with and I think I fixed it, so let's check it out and see if I did. If you pop out the window beforehand, it just, yep, there you go. It shows everything that's on the tablet. So there we go. So as we take off from Vulcan, these are the Canadian sectionals, which I'm still getting used to reading. All of these seem to be Class Echo airports. There's only Class Echo here. We have a couple things we have to worry about too. So like this blue alert area, we're gonna stay north of that, like that says, and then we're gonna be going all the way down to Manitoba there, Brandon, Manitoba. But there's another part. Where is it? Oh, right here. I think it's Medicine Hat. We're gonna have to stay south of this restricted airspace right there. So it's a lot of maneuvering here and there. I also have it on Sky Vectors. You can see it there. That might make more sense to some people. But there you go. And this is Class Echo here. It tells you from 2200 below, 700 below. There's that Canadian restricted airspace we're not going to go into. And then we're going up to Swift Current right there. Staying north of these alert areas. CYA is an alert area for Canadian airspace. Hence why I'm going to go up here. We're going to miss this Class Delta for this Air Vice, whatever this is, military base, Moose Jaw. And we're going to stay north of that. And then we're going to keep going. We're going to be at 7,500, so we'll miss that Class Delta airspace. If that is Delta in Canada, which I don't know. I think it is. They don't have Bravo. They either have Delta or Charlie, I think. I'm still kind of learning, like, these things that are different between Canada and the United States. Anyways, we are going to get started here. Let's get the checklist up for the Cirrus here. And be on our way here. And I should probably turn the tablet on so you can see the checklist that I'm looking at. Alright, we're going to pretend the pre-flight is complete. Emergency equipment on board, passengers briefed. Seatbelts, harnesses adjusted, secured, external power none. Brakes are held. Battery master switches are going on. turn off those annoying lights that always default on. I don't know why, but they do. And we'll see what happens here. Alright, strobe lights going on. They are working. Mixture full rich. Gotta rotate that throttle there. Power lever full forward. Prime, then boost. 1, 2, 3 to boost. And then I'm gonna clear prop after when we're about to start. So that's about 1/4 of an inch now. Ignition switch to start. So clear prop. Clear prop. Go down to 1,000 RPM. Let's see. Oil pressure checked. Doing well. Alternator mesh switch is on. And avionics on. Get that screen on. Engine parameters are monitoring. It's all good. External power not there. And amp meter, check the amps. They're doing fine. Okay. We're gonna type in our first coordinate here, and that's gonna be we'll actually put the whole flight plan in if we want to, and then we can just change it, I guess. Alright, departure flight plan. I pushed direct too, so I want to get out of that. Clear flight plan. Origin. Wrong button. Alright, origin. There we go. I haven't done this in a while, so excuse me while I get used to this again. Charlie Foxtrot X-Ray 6. We started up our instrument lessons again on last Thursday, and I actually did better than what I did months ago when I first started. But everything's going well now again. So en route, I'm gonna go Charlie Yankee X-Ray. So kind of excited about that. Not excited about paying for things again, but also set up some times for flights this summer. 2 places we're definitely gonna try to get to, like for real, like have confirmation. I'm going to try to get to Nantucket, which is a nice, quick, easy flight with some friends. And then, I've been planning this one for a while. You might remember me streaming years ago. But we actually are going to try to go to Woodstock, the original site of Woodstock. And we'll see what happens with that. So, but I'm taking a student pilot friend with me, and we're going to split costs on that. Because he can, I asked my instructor, and he said, as long as he's the sole manipulator controls, I'll still be piloting command. But if he's sole manipulator controls, he can actually log those hours. So it's like, dude, you pay half, you fly a whole leg, I'll fly a leg, and we'll go halves on everything. So I'm hoping that goes well, and that way I can save some money for my lessons. So yeah. All right, for now we're just gonna put Charlie Juliet Sierra 4. Juliet. This way I can turn on the autopilot if I want to, but I don't know, I've been doing a lot of manual RNAV approaches and stuff to practice my instruments. That's what I was doing Saturday. If you saw me with Flying Flight Simulator, that's what was happening. I was practicing. Making it, hopefully, the Charlie Yankee. If not, I'm going to put it down on one of those earlier airports and call it a night. It really depends on time here, because I do have work tomorrow. But I wanted to get a flight in. It's been like 15 days. But again, it's my busiest month at work, and I'm almost out for this school year. We have about 3 more weeks left. The seniors are already gone. Graduation's Friday. So, just a matter of getting everything done. So, alright, anyways, that looks to be good. That is the flight plan. Alright, so we're going to change this to GPS while I'm here. Brakes we'll check on the way out. Flaps are at 0. They are. Radio avionics squawking. Should be 1200 still because we're in North America. So let's do what we're supposed to do here. Okay, we're gonna do alt on that. Here we go. Let's check out the. Oops, that's a bear. That's not the one I want. We want this one. Airports. And we want Charlie Foxtrot X-Ray 6. Now, I'm still getting used to this Flight Plan Go program, but it's the best I have for Canada. So, frequencies. CTAF is the same thing as VATSIM, and I'm already connected there, so 122.8 on COM 1. We'll do a radio check too, as get things going here. VATSIM Unicom, Cirrus, Niner, Foxtrot, radio check, please. Doubt it. Alright, cam heat for us as required. Oh, it's 24 degrees Celsius up here. Are you kidding me? Wow, what does that make it Fahrenheit? 24 Celsius to Fahrenheit makes it... Hey, what's up? No! How's it going? 75 degrees up here in Canada. Well, not too shabby. Real old time, real old weather, by the way. But we are expecting an uneventful flight. It should be good. Nice to have you here. We're going to taxi out, and we got to get some winds here. So, let's go to Sky Vector, because I would have called the briefer. Let's see if he'll give me some winds. Okay. Come on, man. If not, we're going to get winds from Calgary. All right. Well, there's a weather station right there. So, 20018. Which probably means 16. I'm going to taxi to 16. Okay. So that's what we're doing. 16. Okay. I haven't flown at this airport in quite a while. Just again, I'm practicing real life. So, we got back taxi on 16. So here we go. Brakes, parking brake off. Make sure no one's around me. We're good. This is an... Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. We got 3 more weeks before summer vacation. I got a lot of stuff to do before then, but glad I can actually fly for once, because it's been a hectic 2 weeks, and I've been just trying to knock things down the best I can, so I'm getting there. Alright, gotta call it Vulcan traffic here, so give me a second. Vulcan traffic, Cirrus Niner Foxtrot, back taxi, runway 3416 for departure on 16. Vulcan. Alright, I'm going to turn off that tablet for a second. I don't think you need to see any of that. And we're back taxiing all the way down. Probably should have done the run-up already, but that's alright. Caps handles, good. Seatbelt, show harness secured, doors latched, brakes will be held. Flight controls, free and correct. We'll go with that. Yep. Trim set for takeoff. Could never tell on this one, but it would be back here. It says takeoff, so we're going to go with that. Autopilot disconnected, flaps 50% check. We are good on that. Flight and engine check. We're all in the green. We're good to go. Alright, propeller. We're going to check it by increasing to 2,000 here. I'm going to do this on the runway. Probably not the smartest way of doing it, but I'll go for it. Okay, man. Turn around. At least it's into the wind. Alright, brakes are set. 2,000. Failed the detent. That would be the thing there. Alright, alternator check. Pitot heat on. Good. Turn that off. It's pretty hot out. Alright, and power level 1700. I'm gonna check the map. Excuse me. Avionics are on, navigation, nav lights are going on. Strobe, might as well put the landing lights on at this time as well. Okay, I'm gonna check the magnetos at 1700-ish. Right magneto. Back to both. Left. Back to both. Looks good. Alright, now radio set for takeoff. Transponders on alt and pitot heat as required. We're good. Alright, Vulcan traffic. Cirrus Echo Foxtrot departing runway 16. Departure to the east. Vulcan. Here we go. Of course, I forgot to set the autopilot, but we'll get that after I get up there. Rotate at 70, track the flaps. When we get to 80, climb at 101. Didn't do the briefing at all, did I? It's alright. Rotate. Should be about 12 degrees or so. Track those flaps. Trim up a little bit. Being so warm, it takes a little more time to get up there. So let's go for maximum power. I totally forgot that we were like 3,000. That might help too, but we got it. Pretty good. Clear on my left, clear on my right. Ooh, sunny on my right too. Alright, we're gonna take a turn to the left on course eventually. And goodbye, Vulcan. So we make our way home from the Star Trek pilgrimage flights. Okay, I should probably set this now. That somewhat near. There we go. One last look at Vulcan. Here's the airport. And again, named Vulcan, but they also have a Star Trek conference, if you will, here. I thought that was something burned into the crops there, but very interesting. Alright, let's let Otto take this for a little bit. I'm going to go vertical speed and nav. Let it do its thing, and we can take a look outside. That's why I put on the pilot. It's looking pretty good. And I haven't flown Canada a lot in the simulator, so this is going to be quite interesting. See what happens here. Might get to evening as we get out there too. They're about 2 to 3 hours behind me on the East Coast, so it's what, 6:15 p.m. local time, something like that. So, but looking good. This is to our first waypoint. Should take us about 48 minutes to hit Charlie Yankee X-Ray Hotel. Lots of farmland. This is southeast of Calgary. Just lots of farmland. Beautiful sun out there. We are using the Google Maps mod once again. Things looking really good. Take a look at where we are in the sectional here. Lock that to us. We're right outside of Charlie Foxtrot X-Ray 6. Turning on course direct to Charlie Yankee X-Ray Hotel. Calgary being the yellow area northwest of my position. And I can't remember if I did on stream. I don't think I did, but off stream I actually looked at where Bret Hart's, the Stu Hart's house was, where they did all that wrestling training in the basement, the dungeon, if you will. That was pretty cool to see. And out there is the McGregor Reservoir. That's what you see in there. And the Travers Reservoir is down here somewhere. So it should be a long flight. We're gonna take our time here and have some fun. That is our goal. Alright, 7,500. We're going to kick this down to 75%. We're also going to try and lean up the mixture, see if we can get any more power out of that. So getting about 76 up here. And we're at about 183 knots ground speed. Not too shabby. I'll take that. Let me know if anyone notices a difference with my webcam, because they upgraded the virtual green screen background thing to 1080p. That's right, this is full HD now, so maybe you can see things better. I don't know. I don't see the difference. Well, maybe I do. Looks a little clearer, but I've been asking for that for years, if they could just support 1080p, and they finally did it with the latest update. And that's Xvid VCam software. So, alright, I'm going to turn the tablet off. If I find anything interesting on our way there, I'll try to point it out. But, it is what it is. There's some reservoirs. One there, over here. Gorgeous weather here. Wait, was that? I saw wind turbines. I could be mistaken. Nope. I was mistaken. Believe it or not, during my downtime from streaming, I also started teaching myself how to really fly the 737-700, the PMDG. So that's been quite interesting. I haven't flown an airliner, excuse me, since the early 2000s, and I'm talking like 2001-ish. So it's been quite the learning curve, and now that was in FS 2004, by the way, so it wasn't as advanced as the PMDG back then. Oh, now, not back then. But there's a lot more. You have to understand the overhead panel and stuff. So it's quite interesting. I'm also getting used to using the flight management computer, the FMC. Very intricate on the flight planning. Everything's automated after that. Maybe that's why. So, but overall, pretty cool. 186 knot ground speed. Not too shabby. And it's still 13 Celsius up here, which is 55 degrees. It's not too bad. You were right about there. But that'd be pretty comfortable. I don't know what that is. That looks like it is Armada, Alberta. A little small. Maybe it's not. It just says Armada up there. So, okay, I'm getting used to these Canadian charts. They're I find them a little bit more difficult. Not tons, just a little bit more difficult than the FAA charts to read. But they also don't have Class Bravo airspace, from what I'm understanding. But restricted airspace, CYR, CYA, alert area, that makes sense. It's pretty cool stuff. total flight's supposed to be about 3 hours tonight. And I'm already yawning. Ugh, I had to catch up on yard work. I got like one thing done for my checklist for the to-do list this weekend, so I'm trying. It's tough. This week I might have a little bit more time. I do have to do some grading and stuff like that. But and graduation on Friday. Hi, you going to bed? Oh, okay. Hi, Maddie's on board. Everyone, 5-year-old. Hello. You good? Excuse me? No, I cannot because I am flying a plane right now. But listen, can you turn that light on for me on the door? Thanks. Again, trying to squeeze the flight in. That's Lamond, Alberta, right there. Small little town, excuse me. Oh boy, stop yawning. But we are on our way across Canada, which is been very interesting. I didn't plan for this. I just kind of said, well, let's do it. Let's just do what I would have to do to get back to Plymouth, Massachusetts. So we're trying to go as direct as possible. Some checkpoints here, so. Oof. Seeing who else is streaming tonight. Slit Alpha is on. Schnaff is a musician, classical guitarist. We talked to him the other day about teaching in schools. That was quite interesting. Melvin Leroy. Oh! It's Digi Driver with this. I don't want to ruin it. With this new awesome intro sound. One of the few that I actually got to make. What's up, Digi? Was that epic? Did you like that? It's pretty cool. Is that the one you wanted? That sound? The Lake Newell Reservoir coming up on our left. I think up ahead. What's this other one? Heyo. How's it going, sir? Been a long time. Haven't had any time to do much of anything. Calmed down a little bit this week. Oh, was it different? Then it might have been NT4. But, well, if you like it, I'll keep it. If not, you let me know. But we're not using Streamlabs chat bot anymore. I'm going to let everyone activate their own sounds. But nice to see you on the broadcast. How's it going in general? How's life? We're just chilling out here in Alberta, Canada. There's an underground pipeline underneath. Can't see it, but it's on the sectional, so. Yeah, I gotta get used to these Canadian charts. There's the Lake Newell Reservoir right out there. Nice. Oh, cool. Nice job, man. How's the Plymouth scenery coming along? I actually drove around the airport for you, as you know, after my last instrument lesson. Well, my first in a long time, but last lesson on Thursday. You're welcome. I actually got that call box for you finally too, so I almost forgot again. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna drive to every entrance and get you the signs and all that stuff. So. How's our fuel doing? We're gonna go to the right. We're on boost. Going to right. That kind of tells you what's what, too, on the entrances. You know what I'm saying? So. Excuse me. The underground pipeline is right below us. Now, why would you put that on a sectional? If you really can't see anything. Can you see anything? I don't see anything. They just put underground pipeline, and it goes up to the reservoir there. It comes down this way. I'll show you what I mean. That's what it says. It says underground pipeline. Very weird to put something that you're probably not going to see on there, right? Seeing that popped up from Streamlabs, let's run that right now. Give me a second here as I want to run the announcement about the marathon flight that's happening in July. And that would be the 3rd annual Flight Sim Marathon Flight Around the Gulf of Mexico. I changed the theme song. So I'm going to put like a whole thing for a trailer with this music in the background. I think it's going to happen a lot better. The other one was cool too. But it was in Portuguese, according to my Spanish-speaking friend. So I figured, yeah, Portuguese is more Brazilian than anything. So, but anyways, July 29th, we're going to be flying starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're going to start down in Louisiana, and it's going to be a flight around the Gulf of Mexico, marathon style, non-stop. Non-stop as in, like, we're going to make stops to, like, you know, take breaks, but we're going to keep going the whole time. It should take about 18 to 20 hours in a Cirrus, so that's what we're flying. 729 Echo Foxtrot, and we'll have some prizes from Just Flight, your Wiki Design, and also from my Etsy store. So feel free to check out more. You can go to my Discord, tinyurl.com/EF Discord, or you can look at it right here. That's the same thing. And all the information is there. You can register and try to win some of those prizes. But it's going to be a good time. So see what you can do. And I just pushed the wrong button. Okay, here we go. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty cool event. So all planned out, briefings there and everything. So feel free to. And that is, again, to raise money for the Children's Cancer Research Fund as part of the Great Cycle Challenge that I undertake in September. I mean, I got to get on that bike. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks. Again, busy time of the school year, but we're almost done with it. So, excuse me. And yeah, it's flying back here. So we'll be coming up on Medicine Hat pretty soon. We're just gonna overfly that, keep going here. And the whole trip's about 500 nautical miles tonight, if we can make it that far. If not, I'll just call it earlier at an airport on our route. No, go from there. But we'll see. Tried to start this thing as soon as I could. So. And of course, my allergies are wicked flared up from cutting the grass today, so I'm doing good. That ground speed's been staying pretty steady at 186 knots. Oh, 188, excuse me. And we're doing well. But I'm not sure if I'm going to fly the 737 on stream anytime soon. I got to learn that thing a little bit more. The FMC is what gets me because is. It's just a lot of stuff. All right, man. Good night, Maddie. All right. I will be right back. We're just going to say goodnight to Maddie. So I'm going to let Otto keep flying the plane just for like 2 minutes. And I'll be right back. Kid number 1, mission accomplished. Alright. Sweet girl. I had to confiscate 4 balloons that were found in her room. So we're doing good. Doing good. Where are we? We're about halfway to Medicine Hat, so not too shabby. If I can get my headset back on, there we go. Thank you, sir. It's tough. I wanted to try to fit this in. I've had this one planned for a while, so it is what it is. And I thought there'd be a little bit more to look at out here, but we're in the west here, so that's just the western part of Canada. Great distances between places. Oh, Slant Alpha is flying the 737. Speak of the devil. It's just that FMC thing. Programming that thing all over the place. But I've got to start up from cold and dark to cruise. And then landings where I have to work on it more, so. But we'll see. We'll see if I do any airliner streams. If it is, it's not going to be as part of virtually. It's going to be for the air flight itself. So who knows? The sky's the limit. And if I actually do the real world flight out to Woodstock Festival site, the 1969 Woodstock Festival site with my friend there, we'll be videoing that, and then the Nantucket flight with my friends. That's supposed to be first, June 24th. So we'll see what's going on with that. Satellite imagery. It's quite interesting. Never really flown a lot of Western Canada, so this is all new to me, like ever in the sim. So. We have sold, by the way, in the Etsy store. We sold 4 items so far, so that's not bad for a startup. And my recent design is an infant shirt. I have a plain cute. I keep saying crazy. Plain cute infant T-shirt. So if you're looking for a gift for a young one, 24 months or younger, the Arctic Flight store. You might see that nice shirt. It's pretty cool. Comes in different colors. But yeah, made a little bit of ching-chang on that for old flying. Just trying to raise those funds up, so that's how I get to Nantucket and Woodstock. What plane is that? Dark. Check out Malata, see what's going on around us, shall we? Let's pull it out here. We got some storm activity, or is that just clouds? I can't really tell right now. We're going to Medicine Hat, and we're going to turn slightly to the northeast, the swift current. Again, avoiding any areas we're not supposed to be in. Excuse me. No one really, I mean, they're all going to Calgary, which makes kind of sense. Or Edmonton. But typically, flying west to east must be a lot faster this season. So, in the 181 knot ground speed, not bad at all. Let's check our fuel status. Looking pretty good. Just keep it on the right. And see if there's any convective stuff on the bed. Right now on Sky Vector, it's saying Medicine Hat is 240-16 gusting 22, 8 square miles of visibility scattered, 12,000 broken 25,000. Altimeter's 29 or 81, so we're not that far off there. And it's surrounded by Echo airspace. So we're going to be above that airspace no matter what anyway, so this stuff here is kind of interesting. Text to mesh conversions. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Well, is it running pretty smooth? I mean, do you know that at all yet? On your system? But, man, we have a lot. I'm gonna, like, I'd like to make a promo video for you when you release that scenery. So, I might even pose as myself if that's okay. And then, say we're a pilot out of Plymouth, introduce it, and do our little review there. I think that'd be cool, right? And I have the summer, I don't want to say totally off, but I have time in the summer. So, let me know. See, to the north of that is restricted airspace, so again, looking at the Canadian sectional, it's comparable, but it's it's a little confusing for me sometimes. It's a little hazy out there too, huh? Look at that. It's the South River, is that what that's called? Just says south, south, south. See the Echo to 700. I have to get a copy of the CFS someday, so I'm sure I have that. But, Medicine Hat coming up. It does have two bands here, but yet on the sectional, it just has one. But that just means that the echo is up to 2200 here. Echo is up to the airspace 700 here. That must be the airport right there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Done when it's done. Don't rush anything and take breaks for yourself. Well, cool. Yeah, but don't like kill yourself over this either. I'm wicked excited, but you gotta take breaks. Kind of like me in the last 2 weeks of not streaming, so I had no choice. I had concert, I had senior stuff. Let me think about that. They're on those little piles of dirt. Yeah, I'd say about 5 feet. Yeah, I'd say about 5 feet tall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have one in relation. Let me look at what I got here. So, I gotta look at my Google Drive and look at them again. I'll count it. It's this one. Yeah, I did. Right, there we go. So, if I look at it to get reminded of what I did. First couple of pics of me driving to the road down to the airport. Try to get, excuse me, try to get to the airport signs. That coal box goes right up to about halfway in my car window, if that means anything. I took so many. I had like 100-something pictures for you. Have to find out. I think it's about 5 feet, but the coal box goes right up to the window of the car. So that's a Honda CRV if you really want to get technical. 2018 Honda CRV. I would say the sides definitely are taller than the coal box, obviously. But I'm trying to get to the signs now. There we go. Alright. So if I'm looking at that, it's about, I'd say about 2 feet taller than my car. Honda CRV. Let's see the height on that. Now see, I'm getting technical for you. Give me a second here. Dimensions. 2 feet taller. I don't know. Wait, length, height, 66.5 inches. So those signs, the top probably goes to about 7 feet from the ground. And then you take away a couple of feet for that dirt pitch. It's probably about 5. Yeah, it's probably about 5 feet. You're right. Because they're on pylons too. So I'd say about 5 feet. Maybe 4 feet. Just the sign itself. 4 feet high. But those are all new signs too. They updated those recently, so. There's a really nice day to take pictures too. But I drove. Do you see the ones about the terminal there? Not saying that you gotta make the terminal, but I tried to get some from a distance for perspective. And then you have the rotating beacon there too, and the windsock on that hangar there, so you can kind of see, and the fuel tanks. Try getting the fuel tanks for you too. So we're just about to pass Medicine Hat. There is a little haze in the air. See, we have some wind turbines there. Medicine Hat, Alberta, I believe it is. Be on this side. Right there, and then we should turn on course for next destination, which is Swift Current. Charlie Yankee Yankee November. Oh, good. Yeah. No, you're not. No, you're a team of one. Oh, yeah. Well, that's cool. And then what you can do after you get, if you get a bunch of those, let's go with if, because honestly, it does sap a lot of energy. And I only know that from trying to design scenery for FSX. Not airports even. I tried doing downtown Boston with Google Earth models. And I had to do like the light masks and stuff like that myself with Photoshop. But if you do a bunch of freeware GA, that would be cool. Or you could release the GA, get a bunch of them when you get them, and then sell them as a GA pack. Like give people a discount if they buy the whole pack, you know? Because it is a lot of work. And that's what people have to realize. There's Medicine Hat right there. Some factories. Civilization, if you will, which is kind of cool to see. And I've never flown over Medicine Hat before, so pretty cool. Just checking it out. Turning on the Charlie Yankee November on direct. Why it's a little smoky there. Quite interesting. Let's see what it looks like here. Google Maps. So that's the airport we just passed. You had Medicine Hat College down there. What's this thing? Looks like a horse racing track or something like that. Horse racing there. But yeah, Medicine Hat, Alberta. First time I've ever seen it. You figure that call box, if the car is, what was it again? Check my calculator. If it's like 5.54 feet, probably, say about 4 feet high, maybe 3.5. So, all right, we're on our way. Second part of this flight, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna have to make a call on whether we get to Brandon Airport or not when we get around Moose Jaw Municipal, Charlie, Juliet, Sierra 4. There are other airports on the way too. It's just that they're very sparse. So we'll make a call on whether I'm gonna keep going late tonight to Brandon or not. I think I'm probably gonna do it, but well, I'm gonna let myself decide that. And as you see that blue area, that is restricted airspace over there. So probably military, I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And it says the Middle Sand Hills are out there. Somewhere over there. Probably over here. That's what I'm thinking. Were there? There probably were, actually. Yeah, this is Canada. This is Alberta. So it probably is. It's probably some wildfires. I remember I had the same issue around California when I first got the simulator, because we didn't be around the USA flights. And I was right near LA, I think. And there was wildfires out there. So it's kind of cool that you kind of see that in the simulator as well. Very interesting. Yeah, that's definitely looked like smoke. So got some hills in the background there too. What's that? be looking down towards the United States there. I can't tell you what those are called. But if that is the United States, that's pretty far out. So. Got some swimming pools there, no? Oh no, it's houses. They look like swimming pools. Alright, iced tea break. Does the webcam look better at all? Like, does it look clearer because it's in 1080 now? I think it might. Not the background. Just myself. Excuse me. Yeah, I think so too. I think that 1080 resolution made a difference. They had an update on XVID VCAM. It kind of made a difference. So, alright, our next destination is here. I'm going to overfly it. This is just to keep us out of airspaces we don't belong in here. I double check that sky vector. Yeah, it's a straight shot. It's 118 nautical miles to Swift Current Airport. And let's track the VOR just to have some fun here, shall we? So nav 1's going to be 117.4. And that way we'll have a backup in case the GPS were to fail or anything. So 2981, just past Medicine Hat. Swift current is 120 at 13, gusting to 18, 6 square miles per hour. Haze, clear. What's FU? F? No, I didn't mean like FU. I mean like on the VTAR. Let's find out what that means. Dust or sand is FU on the VTAR. Don't get any ideas there. Is that what it means? I didn't see it. Fog, I knew. Yeah, just I've never seen the FU thing. Oh, FUVA, smoke or volcanic ash. It's probably means smoke. It's probably the wildfires. Alberta wildfires. Total 89 active fires. This is from today. And here's what it looks like here. So I just literally just searched for Alberta wildfires, but that's it right there. So that's what we're seeing on the sim here and there. '89 active wildfires. Alberta had 86. Saskatchewan had 27. So British Columbia had 89. So there you go. That's why we're seeing fog and haze. Excuse me. Woof. It's also of the state of Michigan. So it's I'm not coughing because of them. I have allergies, but oh boy. All right. Again, not much civilization to look at. We've got some small towns on our right over here, but no, it's Western Canada. Bush pilots live for this place. Yeah, it's pretty hazy out there. That is the Many Island Lake. North of us. That would be this over here. Yeah, this little dry stuff. And this too. And then this thing, I don't even know what this is. It just... Well, I'll let you see the section. There you go. Yeah. Well, again, I hope to be one of your testers, and you said I was, so Can't wait until you get a testing copy, but I can wait because I don't want you to overwork yourself. Like me, taking time from my real world job, you know. Sad to do it. Did I like not streaming? Not really. But I also made my family a little more of a priority during these past 2 weeks, which was nice. Because they already were going to see me for a little bit here and there because of the concert and stuff. You know, do what you gotta do. Yeah, it's really hazy. Google Map data not as good around here. But, you know. It is what it is. There you go. Yeah, I have FSLTL, so you can see how that works with it, too. Because right now, it only loads a number of aircraft on the ground there. But it's meant more for jet airliners than GA. But I can't wait to see the actual aircraft like parking the right way. That would be nice. So, but if you want, we could aim to stream that stuff too, and I could also shoot some instrument approaches because I got to do that anyways to practice. So we did an RNAV on 2.4. We did that twice on Thursday. Then we're going to do an RNAV for 1.5 because it was kind of like going back and forth. But we just got back in the swing of things, and I'll tell you, I felt really good up there. So, all right, man. Well, there you go. So, thank you for being here. There you go. Probably stream some of that while I shoot some RNAV approaches and stuff. Could do like a tutorial on flying, how to fly the 172 realistically, and I did that with the 152 a long time ago on stream. That seemed to work well. So there's a lot of themes I could tie into with the scenery and promoting it and saying we're doing that. But all right, this would be Bitter Lake. That's what we're overflying right now, but not the best maps imagery unless it's just not loading the right stuff here. It seems to be loading it actually. It's probably caching all this too. Fuel situation. Right. Oh, whoa, hello. Whoa. My mouse went crazy. Alright, something just happened. Flipped over the mouse. That's what I did. There we go. Alright, right tank is a little bit lower, so we'll go boost to the left. We're going to be taking the Piper Warrior out to Woodstock when we do that, because my student pilot friend is got most of all of his training in the Warrior, so they also have that new 172M at the flight school. I have 2 dates to get that signed off on so I can fly 4 172s out of the school. But I'm just glad that my instructor's back. And he was there the whole time. He's the chief flight instructor, but he just got his medical back so he can do like everything instead of just what he could do while waiting. And we'll have to see how mine turns out in, I think it's April of 2024. I have to decide to go basic med or class 3. And then I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll go for class 2 just to see if I could do commercial. I mean, I know I could eventually do commercial if I want to, but that'd be about it. So, and unfortunately, I will probably have to get a special issuance for either class 3 or class 2 because I take one medicine which is on the approved list. It's just that you have to show that you're under control. So that's why I might be just going basic med, which my doctor has already said he would do. So it's going to be an interesting scenario. So getting older here. But I'm in good health. It's not anything to be concerned about. Just have to keep an eye on it as I get older. Don't we all? Alright, it's like lake after lake after lake until we get to Swift Current, which we should see some civilization around there. But this is, I mean, it's the challenge of getting back all the way across Canada, part of the United States. I might deliberately go near Niagara Falls because I have that Jefferson 2001 scenery, which is fantastic, by the way, for Niagara Falls. I uninstalled like all my freeware to do it, and it is amazing to see the falls like that. So it even has that ship that's slowly eroding and gonna fall over the falls someday. So makes me want to go to Niagara Falls, which I think we're gonna be riding past this summer when I go celebrate my friend's wedding in Toronto this summer. That's gonna be at the end of August, like literally right before I have to go back to school my first day. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. What's up, Nick? How's it going? I think I have your sound now, by the way. I'm kind of introducing these as we go. But if you type in your name, you can now type in exclamation point your name, Nick, and your sound will pop up, because I'm not using that program that usually works half the time. But hey, my friend, you're gonna get there from your recent discussion on the boards there. So yeah, it's just easier that way. So feel free to introduce yourself whenever you want to. But you're almost there. You're getting there. Yeah, you're getting there. I don't care what happens. Yeah, you're gonna get there. You will graduate. I already know you will. By the way, I have a bunch of dates to share with you eventually that we could pick from. So I did my summer scheduling this weekend. So I meant to get doing it in April, but things got a little hectic. So no, you won't. And you know, either way, you'll get it. I know you will. So the question I had was, do you only have to pass the parts that you didn't pass or didn't do as well on, or do you have to do the whole thing again? So I thought on private, if you failed, you only had to do the parts that you failed on. I could be wrong on that, but you'll be fine. I gotta start studying for my instrument. Not that I'm taking the written anytime soon, but I probably have to actually in a couple months. So, oh, good. All right. I mean, they could probably choose to test you on other things, but you know, you'll get there. You know what you did wrong, just fix it. You'll be fine. Yeah, I would go with that assumption, you know, just in case. So, I saw a video from M0. Was it M0? No, it wasn't. It was that other guy. Oh, I can't remember his name is. But he was talking about the changes, and I guess in the private written exam now, there's 65 questions, but 5 questions don't count. But you won't know which ones don't count. And then they also reduced the test taking time from like 200 minutes or whatever down to like 150. So they're doing changes. Well, just think of it this way. You have to know all that stuff anyways, you know? You'll get through it. I know you will. I know you're going to be fine. Another one of my students wants to become a pilot. I seem to be rubbing off on them, but she's a junior this year, so she's actually going to the same flight school as me, hopefully, and starting her private. So we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to help her out with some ideas. But between me and my instructor, who also used to work with me as a teacher at my high school, who's retired, I think she's in good hands. So, but all right, we're just flying across Canada, trying to get back to Plymouth eventually. So, from Vulcan, Alberta, where we left off on the Star Trek flights. So, not much to see. It's getting kind of blurry in the maps here. So I'm wondering if it's really loading the scenery or not. I might change the Well, yes and no. You're gonna get there, and you can prove them wrong later. I wouldn't worry about it. I would just do your thing and get it done. I mean, to be honest with you, you're a person who works hard. I know you do, and I know that will show as well. So you'll be fine. I don't want to just say that they're hurting for pilots too, but they are, you know. But you'll be fine. I know you're gonna get it. Just learn from mistakes, move on. I want to see what this instrument thinks like too. All right, I'm gonna switch to Google Maps. Watch this. So I have all this cached here. I'm downloading data. I'm gonna switch to the Server 2 Pro, and we'll see what it does. But it said it couldn't access it. So we'll see if the images come in better now. Oh, they are now. Yeah. Or they were, at least. Huh. Alright, let's switch it back to 2. Yeah, there we go. So sometimes it does that. And it might be because I'm using the Google Maps servers. So it might, like, you know, check it and say, oh, you downloaded too much data. But then you switch it to number 2 and it starts working again. I mean, I can do Bing or anything on this thing, but since I have the license, I go for the Pro server. So it will slowly load. It'll take some time to catch up, and then we'll be fine. Well, there you go. There you go. I had my first instrument lesson myself on Thursday in months, and we did really well. I finally intercepted an RNAV approach pretty well. So, twice. Of course, that's easy for you, but yeah. You'll improve. You'll be fine. I don't think you're going to have a problem, especially coming from Embry-Riddle, you know, because if anything, it just means that their standard was high and that you're going to meet it eventually. To become a pilot and have to go through those check rides, it's kind of like being a musician, to be honest with you, except that we perform on instruments instead of airplanes. But I told my student she would multiple, we're talking like, I mean I don't know, I don't think it's as much of an issue if you can explain it and be honest with them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe, and I'm not trying to scare you here, because I am not the professional, but I mean, from what I heard from airline pilots, if you can explain it and how you corrected everything, that you're fine. So, I mean, they're taking people from regionals and trying to put them on, like, you know, other places. So yeah, so. I mean, if you failed the same check ride multiple times, then I could see them kind of being, yeah. But if you only fail it like once and then you go back and you roar back and get it done, I don't think it's going to be a problem. So, especially seeing that they're hurting for pilots, that does play into the favor here. But I wouldn't worry about it because you already passed that. You know what I'm saying? Now you're doing multi. Yeah, well, I heard that that's one of the hardest maneuvers as commercial. So, I'll just be happy with my instrument reading, and then we'll see from there. I thought about getting my Class 2 medical license, but it's going to need special issuance if I do it. And I'll get it. It's just how long is it going to take and, you know, that uncertainty. But, I mean, my instructor, he waited probably almost 6 months to get approved after turning in all his medical. And he even got a consultant at the end. Like, had to pay someone to try to move it along. And then he had to resubmit all his stuff because it was past the 90 days that the FAA requires on the stuff. So it's like, it's crazy. But I'm gonna probably be joining the AOPA, you know, that special protection program next time I join APA this summer. So just to have that in my back pocket. But I'm probably going basic med, to be honest with you. And that I will be fine. That doesn't need anything for it, because it's just one medicine I take that's approved. It's just they would have to make sure that it's under control. So, which it is. It's nothing. It's not mental or anything. God, I can only imagine if someone has like a mental health thing that they're trying to fix, which, you know, would make them safe, but they have to prove it's safe, and the FAA say it's, oh, this and that. So there's a lot of stuff. You know, so I'm just gonna be a sport pilot and use my my license. I don't know. So I'm really interested in seeing what they do with the Mosaic, the LSA requirements, that they might put the 152 and maybe even the 172 into the sport pilot category. We'll see what happens, you know. Because I will not fly unsafe, but I don't want to be known as unsafe when I'm not, you know. And that's what it comes down to. So, but all right, we are going to Swift Current here, and I really wish there was more interesting stuff to look at, but it just seems like it's lots of farmland, lakes, and greenery. We have a little bit of haze due to the wildfires out here, which we just uncovered, and you can see that we're almost there. We're about 40 nautical miles out. Should be there in about 13 minutes or so. And almost halfway through our flight, according to the gold bar at the top. So, but just to sum it up, Nick, you're gonna graduate, you're gonna get through this, and you're gonna get a job. Trust me. Time and weather, so but Nick, two things I'm doing this summer, hopefully. Nantucket with some friends, and then I'm hopefully doing Woodstock with one of my student pilot friends. I'm going to let him fly out leg while I'm piloting command. He's going to be the sole manipulator of the controls, though, because I was told as long as he's sole controls, he can log the hours, so I don't care, because I have like 70-something cross-country, so I'm good for instrument. I'll just have to do what I have to do, but the cross-country time's good. So, what lake is that? That is Antelope Lake right there, off our left, and we should be seeing Swift Current coming up in the distance there. Oh, excuse me. Fuel looking pretty good. I'm gonna leave it on left for a while. Ground speed's been pretty consistent, 184, 188-ish. Pretty good. As far as VATSIM, the only ones that are around that are being shown to me is Seattle Center. Well, let's take a look at Volante to see where our flight route is taking us tonight. So we departed Vulcan, Alberta, right there. Bang that left and just been direct to Medicine Hat, and now to Swift Current. So this must be like wildfire cloud haze coverage here, but look at that. I mean, that's pretty smoky up there. So there's Seattle Center. And we're trying to make our way all the way to Brandon, Manitoba, which is over here. So that's where we're trying to get to. If not, I'm going to put it down in an airport here if I get too tired or it's getting too late or I still got to stick some laundry in eventually. It won't be during the flight, but got more haze out here too. More wildfire stuff probably. See if we can see swift current here, but it does say haze. 6 square miles of visibility. Winds 120 at 13, gusting to 18. And then we're gonna have to go a little further north to north of McEwen military base there, because that has alert areas all over it, so I didn't feel like going through there. So I'm gonna go direct to Moose Jaw Municipal, but we're gonna go a little bit north of that class Delta, which I think it's a Delta. I'm gonna show you what I mean. This thing, I think that's a Delta in Canadian airspace, but there's alert areas right over here, which we could fly through, but you avoid them if you can. There's restricted airspace there. So got some haze. Saskatchewan, Canada. So we are in Saskatchewan. When did that happen? That's what I want to know. So in other words, how far into Saskatchewan are we? And where does it show that on the Canadian section? That's what I want to know. Doesn't really show the provinces, does it? I didn't see it. Shows underground pipelines, though. Jeez. Those are my old flights. See that? That's when we... It shows me from Plymouth back to where it, like, zoomed in there, so... That's flight plan go for you. But it does have the Canadian sectional, so... It is worth it. Just about there. There's all this haze. Does that look like snow to you? Kind of looks like snow. So, yeah. That's Google Maps imagery for you, I guess. Not as good up here in the western part of Canada, but alright, just keep an eye on it. See what we can do. Interesting. My Google Maps on my Chrome doesn't work while running the Google Maps enhancement after a while. Sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. Wonder if that's not loading anything. It just looks like snow, doesn't it? No, there you go. That's when it doesn't work as well, but that's Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Sun's setting behind us in the west. Yeah, I guess the Google Maps image just has snow in it. It's got some cop cars down there. See some type of track there. Tegan. Stop making me block you. Get a life. Stop stalking people. Terrible. Oh, they find me all the time. I just block them. It's not a big deal. What were you saying, Nick? Because I kind of missed what you were saying there as I was blocking someone. It's good kids still. Just, you know, didn't want any problems. Yeah, well, you know, that's just the way it is. I guess it might have been better because hopefully you only have to take the parts that you didn't do as well on, you know what I'm saying? So if anything, maybe he let you kind of do that. So, yeah, all right, we're over Swift Current, Charlie Yankee November. And now going direct to our next waypoint of Charlie Juliet Sierra 4, which is Moose Jaw Municipal. And that's about 89 nautical miles away, so that's not bad at all. We should be there in no time. Let's check the fuel situation. I'm burning the left more than the right, so let's boost and to the right. I don't even mind if they just watch. I just mind when they actually try to talk. But I do block them when I have to. So, you know, that's anytime they talk. It even says that in the rules, I believe. It should, at least. But he was on YouTube, so I guess that doesn't have the rules there. But yeah. Get a life. Stop stalking your teachers. Oh my god, this haze is terrible. Oh, we got a wind turbine farm, farm over there. Yeah, goes up to 3,300 above sea level. Everything's above sea level in Canada. We're supposed to be there in about 28 minutes. Oh, I got some winds here. No, I don't, because you know what? If they say something that's inappropriate, it's like already there. You know what I'm saying? And it takes one to ruin it for the rest of them. So I don't even bother. I just instantly go to block and ban. It's just not worth the chance. So. Not worth the chance. Not only that, but they make me sign off on a piece of paper for the school about social media use, which is what we're doing is fine. It's just that you don't take chances with things. So, yep, that's the way it is. They made me sign a piece of paper about social media use as a teacher. So, yep. There's another person who streams that's a music teacher just like me. He lives in Canada. We compare notes all the time. There's that wind turbine farm. Yeah, we seem to have some winds here. Out of the autopilot here, shifting. And right there is that airspace we're gonna look out for. There's a little chunk right there. And it's all alert areas and stuff down here. So yeah. Well, you could blame it on his name, but, you know, it's the same deal. Like, he changed his name because his students were, like, doing something with it. I don't think they were doing anything major, but, like, why should we have to bother with any of that, you know? You should be able to set a clear boundary and just say, hey, look, you can watch, but I don't want you chatting, and if they do, then block them. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, that's only because, Nick, there have been problems with students, especially from my school, not on my channel, but students from my school not doing proper things on the internet. So I don't take a chance. It's just not worth it. But yes, that would be him. I actually like that name better, but that's why he changed his name, because he wanted to start a little bit fresher than when the kids were all like on him his name. I don't think there's anything major with it, but. So by blocking a student, it makes it look like, and it is, me, saying that it is not appropriate to even try to chat when someone tells you they don't want you chatting, because there's going to be a teacher-student relationship. So Tegan, if you could still hear me, that's what's happening right now. But I play it up. No, because they do misbehave. It's been done before, just not on my channels. Yeah. So. Heard lots of stories, and I've actually been involved in some when I got my principal license. So, just not worth it. Such is the life of a teacher who just wants to have some fun on social media. And spread some knowledge, have some companionship, if you will. So. But yeah, it only takes one that ruins it for everyone else. Alright, that's the Reed Lake out there. That's really exciting stuff here, except for the wildfire. The wildfire is kind of cool. You know, just inappropriate things online, crossing the line, things they shouldn't, harassment of others. And I'm not saying all of them. Like, I'm pretty sure Tegan, from what I remember, is a pretty upstanding person, but I just can't condone it. Don't want to take a chance on it. Yeah, it's been harassment and stuff online. And then the principal, well, I know this because we had an issue, which I can't go into, but like it was something done at home, and then the school has to address it. So it's like, you know, it's better just to avoid it. I think that makes sense. Yeah. But alright, we gotta keep an eye out on this whole thing here. Let me show you what's going on here. We have these alert areas and stuff down here. We're gonna stay north of that, but when we go to Moose Jaw, there's an actual class Delta, I believe. Even though it says Echo, they have a ceiling on that on Sky Vector. So I'm gonna treat it like a Delta, and we're gonna be slightly below it. So if I show you Sky Vector here, let me turn off the tablet now. And it has this blue area in its dash. So I'm taking it like it's a Delta. And we're going to go north of that and then go into Moose Jaw. Right there, Municipal. And then continue on our way. That's going to be the longest leg right there. But that will get us halfway home, almost, I guess. Because we got to go to Plymouth, which is over here, as you know. So. Okie dokie. I'm trying to find interesting stuff to look at other than the wildfire, which is pretty cool in itself. But sun is setting, so we might be getting some night operations here as well. Not much to say, so if I'm silent, because there's not much to look at other than lakes and farmland. But, again, being a flight you'd have to take to get back in real life, it's pretty cool to do. So. Tell you one thing, the weather on Saturday up here in the Northeast, all that rain and stuff, that was good to practice on the simulator with some approaches and stuff. So I appreciated it for that. It also gave me a little time to do that, seeing that I couldn't cut the yard. So. See if we need that light yet or not. I don't think so.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself in check.
bad feeling about this.
Only because there's not much to look at. Oh boy. Wish it could be a little more interesting, but it is what it is. Winds are not that bad, so the autopilot, I don't know what's going on with you, but we're right on the edge of that alert area right now. Then let's probably switch to heading. Around that thing. You know, let's do that now. Let's set the heading look. Head about 60-ish heading. But, you know, for the first time we're flying out in the western part of Canada, other than Vancouver, like ever on the simulator, this is cool to see in certain ways. Is that ice? Or is that just how the lake looks? That would be Chaplin Lake right here. Buck, how's it going? Nice to see ya. Welcome to the broadcast. We are in Saskatchewan, Canada, making our way back from our Star Trek pilgrimage flights that we did a long time ago, like probably a month ago. I decided to take off from Vulcan, Alberta, and do a real world, what it would have to be a real world return back to Plymouth Municipal Airport, America. So, but nice to see ya. See if I have command for that. Well, you made a landing, so I'll do this one. It's a new one, too.
Another happy landing.
There you go. Thank you for being on the broadcast. By the way, let's do some shout-outs. Never did get shout-outs. Shout-out to Nick Gresla for showing up tonight. Thank you so much, sir. And also, thank you to DigiDriver. Another shout-out to him. Of course, the shout-out command is now on cooldown for 4 seconds. Let me do that again. Oh, it actually did work. Cool. Nice. Just making sure. And the sun is setting here from the west, and we are making our way to Brandon, Manitoba. Nice sunset, huh? Next time. Jeez. Sunsets are pretty nice in the simulator. The X-Plane now has software that will stream satellite imagery, kind of like Bing on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I don't know. I might have to give it another chance in a couple months, because they're working out bugs on that as well, so we'll have to see. Okay, I'm gonna go a little closer now. So let's go like 6.5-ish. Mm-mm. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. is getting to be evening here. Real world time, real world weather. It's a nice picture too. You're welcome, Nick. You deserve it, my friend. I've been lurking in a couple of your streams here and there, so just to let you know, it's not like I don't watch. Oh yeah, I do. I jump in from time to time to see what you're doing. So I'm still trying to figure out the FMC and the 737. So I don't know how. I mean, I know how people kind of figure out that stuff. Seeing that I've been watching some YouTube videos, but man, it is intricate, huh? I didn't. No, it's not. That's not entertaining. I check in to see what you're doing. That's all. The FMC thing, I'm still kind of about because it's a lot of stuff that you got to program in there. So, well, don't worry about it. You do your stream your way. Yeah. But, I don't know. They had this Ryanair, I think it was captain. I don't think it was first officer from the 737. And they had a video with him demonstrating how to fly it for real with another prominent YouTuber. And I found it to be interesting. But you know how Ryanair gets all like the crap on them, you know. But man, there's a lot. And I knew there was an FMC in the airline and stuff, but I never knew how intricate it really was, you know. Seems like we got a little turbulence up here, huh? Look at that aileron moving there. Autopilot, keep it straight. Well, I'm getting into that stuff slowly just to try it out. Because it might be nice to fly an airliner here and there. But the bread and butter still is GA. Excuse me. But how did you learn that stuff? Is it YouTube and stuff? Or, because I don't think they probably showed you at Embry yet. And that'd be like a type rating anyways, right? And then the other question I have is that, are all FMCs basically the same except just fit for that model aircraft? So, yeah. You're right. Yeah, because it depends on the aircraft, right? That's why there's type ratings and all that stuff, too. So, that makes sense. Yep. Airbus is slightly different. I heard that, too. Man, that sunset is gorgeous. Look at that. Even though if you have that little bit of haze there from the wildfires. Yep. But I've been flying that PMDG 737-700 off stream. And, like, it makes sense, the systems, but it was overwhelming at first because I was like, dude, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Yep. Like, dude, I'm not ashamed at all by saying this, but I didn't even know how to start up the APU before I started doing all that stuff. So, way back in the day when I did the virtual airlines, it was a lot easier because you couldn't see the overhead panel because it was all like, you know, blurry and stuff from the resolution, and only half the buttons worked. So, yeah. So, but that makes total sense. Like, I knew there was an APU. I just didn't know how to really start it up, switch over the electronics to it, and this and that, you know. But yeah, it was quite interesting. It's intricate, but it makes sense. And it makes more sense from being a private pilot, only understanding that you have all these calculations, but the computer does it for you, instead of looking it up on a chart, which that still happens on the Honda Jet, even though the Honda Jet kind of has everything programmed in it too. And then the Cirrus Vision Jet, that has all the calculations and graphs, just like a private pilot, so, you know. All right, that is towards where we want to go. So I guess I'm going to hug this a little bit. Let me just double check with Sky Vector here. Because here's what I'm concerned with over here. So we have this delta area. Excuse me. Right here, it says up to 8,000 feet. So I want to avoid that, which is why I'm going a little bit further north. And that's this thing right here, I believe. So I'm going to go there, and then I'm just going to scoop down. Just to avoid that. And then what's this CYQR airspace? Oops, sorry. See, that says Echo. There's this airspace right there. That's Regina. So, but I should be above that from what I understand. Yeah, I'm supposed to be above that because I'm at 7,500. So that should be fine. And that's why I'm taking these like deltas. Do you know anything about Canadian VFRs? I have the sectional charts because I find them to be a little more confusing. Just a little. They're still readable, but they're confusing a little bit. Nope, the Heat beat the Celtics again. Oh, it sucks. They should have taken it to 7 games in the last series. That's the problem. Alright, we're going to see what the estimated time of entry is when we get on our next heading. Because that's Brandon. But that's 200 something nautical miles away. So check out the fuel situation. I'm going to go back to left. So boost. Going to go to left. It is pretty easy to start. It's just learning to switch the generator over to what it needs to be. From the ground power to the APU. Switching all that stuff. Yeah, it was quite interesting. I found it. I was trying to tell my kids, look, I'm trying to learn how to fly the big jet, like for real, for once. Nope, got street lights. Oh, does it? Of course it does. It's all automated, but yeah. Got some street lights coming on out there. We are definitely getting to the evening hours here. I like how the colors change because the sun reflecting off of it. It's kind of cool. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Right, we are right outside Moose Jaw, which is over there. We are a little north of it, so I can avoid getting in any trouble with airspace. That is controlled space over there, up to 8,000 feet. And that would be Moose Jaw Air Vice Marshal CM Airport. It says prior permission required to use it. So obviously we want to stay out of this military. But all right, man. Well, I might tune in. I'm probably going to be trying to sleep, but sometimes I check it out there when I'm in bed, so. But nice. Cool. All right. Well, I hope all those pictures kind of help you a little bit. Thank you so much, Digi, for all your support. Appreciate it. All right. Now, once I get past that airport, right about here, then I could go down here. But let's increase the range here because I'm kind of intrigued at this G1000. Why is it not going? Oh, there it is. Okay. See what I'm saying? It does have the delta. So I guess I could turn in a little bit more now that I'm seeing. Moose Jaw is down there. It's like north, right over here. Right where that little squiggly line thing is. You see it from a distance right there, so. Could probably go direct and not hit that thing now. So let's go back to nav. What's the range on this thing? Wrong way. So it's 5 nautical miles. Yeah, that's about right. That's about 8 nautical miles or so away. Maybe we should do heading and nav. That's what we'll do. So we get a little close there. Maybe see Moose Jaw. Well, look at that. Got really green and red there. That's pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna get some nighttime operation here. This makes sense, flying east. But Nick, I'll be sending you some dates of flights I have booked. You can let me know if you can make one of those during the summer. That'd be kind of cool. So, destination to be determined. So, try to do that by tomorrow night. And that way you can see when you're available. Alright, kind of cool. There's that military base. Again, it looks like we're very close, but we still have a while to go. See that? So, just turn it a little bit more, maybe 120-ish to stay out of there. And that's fine. Yeah, like I said, I'll just send you a bunch. You can let me know when you know your work schedule by week. Try to do something. So. I don't know if you were here early in the broadcast, but there are 2 big things, again, that I want to do this summer. Nantucket with my guy friends, that's going to be in June. And then I'm doing Woodstock, the original 1969 Woodstock, going to Sullivan County. Kilo Mike Sierra Victor with one of my student pilot friends, who's going to pay half to fly out there with me. I'm going to let him manipulate the controls on one whole leg, unless I have to step in, which I doubt I will. But we're going to take the Warrior out there, so. You going to work at Logan again? Look, is that? That's the Buffalo Pound Lake. Oh, that's cool. That'll get your foot in the door, too, you know, to say that, you know, the operations a little bit more, right? And that is Moose Jaw right there. And the airport should be kind of in front of us. What's that? That's interesting. Turning now towards the airport. But see, we're staying out of that little delta area. Military area right there up to 8,000 feet. Let's see if I want to see what class that is. What does a blue dash mean on Canadian VFR charts? I think it's just delta, but I could be wrong. I still think the FAA makes the best charts. I could just be biased on that, though. Alright, here we go. I got this publication here. The Aeronautical Charts and Publications for Canada. I'll read that off on my other monitor here. They're just more detailed than anyone else's, you know. So I just need like a key to the VFR navigation charts. Not only that, but like you have to. They're not available online for free. But yeah, I don't know about that either. But I've never used Jefferson charts, and I know that a lot of the South American stuff, the Mexican stuff, I was looking at Jefferson charts. But that still has enough info on it. The Canadian ones I find weird because they'll have something like this, the blue dash, which means class Delta. But you really don't want to go there because it's a military base anyways. Moose Jaw would be over here, which is what we just passed. So now we're on our final destination. We're supposed to be there in about an hour, so I'm probably going to stay up for this a little bit past midnight. So, but Jefferson have a little more color to them. So, flight planning. I'm looking at the Canadian Nav Canada now because I kind of do want to get into Canadian stuff a little bit, but obviously I use the FAA charts on Montreal and stuff. I have to be out here in the west, and there's no charts. So, but I'm using Flight Plan Go here. So, paragraphs of 12,005. Again, MSL's ASL and Canadian charts. Moose Jaw River we just passed. So, you know. And then we have to look ahead. I'm going to turn this tracking thing off. We're going to pass Regina. See, there's this dashed line. And that does say D. It says D at 5,000. But if you go over here, where's that? Where's the Delta thing? I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? But you can clearly see that Regina's a class Delta at 5,000 feet and below. So that makes sense to me. We're above that, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm looking for a class Delta indication here, though. And I don't know what these red things mean. I know the blue is alert areas. It just says heavy military traffic in Moose Jaw, MTCA, CYA's VFR flight following Moose Jaw terminal recommended when not active. I also find it hard to find the frequencies for the radio, like not the VORs, but like, see how it says ATIS 1895, towers right there, lighted hours, you know, blah blah blah. So I just find it to be a little bit more harder to read a little bit. Like even that 5,000, it says 5,000 there, but where's the little 50? You know what I mean? You don't have that. But if you go to SkyVector, it kind of follows the FAA format. So I don't know. But anyways, we are there. And then like B, 12,500 ASL. Is that Bravo? That might. I know the transition altitude's different in a lot of countries too. I learned that by studying the 737. I never knew that. I'd always thought it was 18,000 all around the world, but it's not. So that was also quite interesting. Not that we deal with that as private pilot, or at all. Sun setting. We're on our way. What airport is that? That is Regina right there. That's that class Delta. So. But I would love to fly to Canada someday, which is not going to be possible for 2 basic men. Which is another reason why I'm kind of debating what I'm going to do for next year's medical. So we'll see. See what happens. Because I'm thinking if I do go for the medical, the FAA, I might even try for a class 2 and just get it done. Because either way, I'm going to have to have special insurance for that one medicine I take. So, which again, I according to what I've read, I pass everything. It's just a matter of proving it to them one time, and then after that, we're fine. So, excuse me. Canada VFR charts. Key. You also have to buy everything for Canada. So, VFR navigation chart. But you don't do flight plan go. That's the cool thing. And they're also more expensive. Like I pay $8 and change for a paper sectional of the New York sectional. And from Montreal, they want $16.50. And that is Canadian, but still. So I get it. I know it's more more privatized and tax funded. So. But you can get all this stuff from the FAA website for free, and yet for Canada it seems like you have to buy everything. So. And you have to pay for ATC usage while you're there. So. Excuse me. Costs $16.50 for the flight supplement, and that goes by provinces. Like Quebec is $16.50. So right there, you're paying like $33 Canadian just for one VFR sectional and the chart flight supplement. So, Gina, which I believe is Saskatchewan. Could be wrong on that. Let's find out what province we're in. I think we're in Saskatchewan. Oh, excuse me. Yep, Saskatchewan still. Manitoba coming up. We want to turn some lights on pretty soon. Looks like there's a stadium on there too. Look at that. I have some freeware scenery here. Let me see what I have. I don't know if it's payware or freeware, but I have something. So, yep. That's how I manage my scenery. It is, FM Studios. Oh, that's Vancouver. Western G. Sim add-ons, Gina. That's what you're seeing right there. Very interesting. Cop cars everywhere. That's an add-on by, excuse me. I think it's South Oak. They have one for the United States and one for Canada. There you go. So make our way. We should be done in about an hour or so. It's a little bit after midnight, which is fine. I'm just excited to fly again on stream. That's the last civilization we're going to see for a while, so take a good look. This is lit up, but yet this part isn't really lit up. That doesn't make sense to me either. It's a lot of cop lights though, huh? I think they overdo it a little bit. They have utility lights too like that, but sometimes they overdo it a little bit. Look, I don't think Regina's the crime capital of the world or anything. Look how many lights I got going on there. There's downtown over there. And what is that thing? That's what I wonder. It looks like a stadium. Can't really tell you, but that is a lot of lights. If you zoom in, wow. Distance doesn't look as bad, but Alright, let's get the cockpit ready here. Let's put some lights on. There we go. Fuel! Gonna turn to the right. We're on booster ready. To the right. That's a lot of lights. Wow, who knew? Regina, Saskatchewan. Prime den of the world. Alright. Google Maps is not working like it should. And I think it has something to do with the Google Maps enhancement here. But let's see if I can find out what that stadium was. Does it look like a stadium? Also check in here. Give me a second. Charlie Yankee, come back to Romeo Airport. And well, just go to my tablet for this one. Nope. Wait. Yep. I'll fly over there. So that was the airport. Oh, it is. It's a Mosaic Stadium. This looks like it was being built back then. And what is that all about? I don't know. Let's check it out. Mosaic Stadium. And that would be Regina, Saskatchewan. Okay. It's an open air stadium at Rail District in Regina, Saskatchewan. Announced on July 12, 2012. It replaced the Mosaic Stadium at Taylor Field. It's the home field of the Canadian Football League's Saskatchewan Roughriders. So that's what you were seeing there. That was the stadium of the Roughriders. And it was opened soft opened on a university game on October 2016. Very interesting. So there you go. This is what it looks like there. That was 2018 at least, so interesting. Alright, leaving the Regina, Saskatchewan area. And definitely getting to evening now. Nice moon and sunset. Got about 56 minutes to go. I want to fly to Mexico on the simulator a little bit. So, but we'll be doing that during our marathon stream in July. So, we'll also be hitting Cuba, Havana, if you will. So that's gonna be quite interesting too. Let's check in with Volanta. See where our path has taken us tonight. So we departed Vulcan, Alberta. Went direct to Medicine Hat. Which had some haze from the wildfires. Then we moved up to Maria. Swift Current. So we got to see that a little bit. And then we deviated to the north around Moose Jaw here. So that must be the military. No, that says station. Karen. Yes, this is military, so they don't want you in there unless you really have to. Here's the Moose Jaw Airport that we kind of were aiming for. That doesn't even look like an airport anymore. So that is, wait, it says old airport. This is supposed to be the new one. Alright, so this is the old municipal airport, maybe? Seems to be farmland now. Very interesting. This is the new one that we went across. They're very small. And we got to see Moose Jaw from a distance. Just past Regina. And on our way to Brandon, which is, again, over there. So we're going to go all the way over there in about a little less than an hour. Excuse me. Hopefully we'll be streaming a little bit more frequently this summer. So, in between the instrument, spend time filming, going on some vacations, which is going to be possible. That's the cool thing. So. Does that look like a cop car or something? Yeah, that does. You know, they might have overdone it in Regina, but I do like seeing those lights. They do make it look a little more realistic, like real night flying. You see those things, you know? Except for that, this is a little overdone, if you ask me, but who knows? Still thinking about buying that Navigraph thing, and that's for the airliners mostly, because everything I do with the Cirrus or anything GA I could do by myself like real life, but it seems like with Navigraph it has everything that you need for like your routes and everything and what you get from dispatch. So we'll have to see. It's like 80 something bucks for the year or something like that. And you could use it for GA, but watching Studio Canuck put things into the FMC here on the Airbus. And Navigraph seems to just tell you everything with the cost index and all this stuff. Cruise temperatures. And it seems like the Airbus has its own tablet stuff in there. But I'm wondering if that's from Navigraph or not. But that's really intricate, huh? Jeez. Anyways, I'm gonna fly the Cirrus. But who knows? You might see Arctic Flight do an airliner in the future. You might try it. Take me back to my virtual airline days. All right, just south of what is that? Charlie Sierra. Oh, that's right in there, huh? It's an alert area. Continuous daylight, April 1st, October 31st. Is that why it's an alert area? I don't know. There's an airport out there. Seem to have a little bit of bumpiness here. It's only an 8 knot wind, a 9 knot, excuse me. All right, so that should help us a little bit, pushing us. The ground speed's been pretty good all night, but again, we're traveling from west to east, so that seems to help out. Doesn't help out when you're going from east to west, but cop cars down there. I like flying at night. It's hard to do up here in the Northeast during the summer and spring because our daylight is out. So we're up to like 8:30 now, with lights still being out, and you have to wait an hour after civil twilight to log in landings to be able to be current to take passengers at night. But I was current until, God, I can't remember now. But I did it in the fall where it's easy because our sun sets at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So, and I try to get my night landings in then. But we'll see. I have a 152 booked for nighttime flight. I think a week from Friday. So if I can get if I can do 3 full stop landings, that'll be it that night. But I might fly to New Bedford like I usually do. See, usually the plan when I do this nighttime currency landings is I will take off, go to New Bedford, go to the airport grill there, get something to eat, wait it out a little bit till it gets dark, check up on the time, and then go. But again, the problem here is that now daylight is lasting a lot longer into the evening, so but we'll see. Be nice to do more night flying. Talking about night flying, let's get our background to be night flying, shall we? Let me make sure that that's on here. There we go. Alright, now let's make this a little darker, shall we? Turn these lights off. We don't need these. Alexa, turn off shelf LED lights. Alexa, stop. Oh, you're terrible. Get everything automated. It only works half the time. Alexa, stop. There we go. Alright. And then I can make the room lights red. I don't know if this makes a big difference, but we're going to go with it anyways. Let's see if I have the app here. Oh, there they are. So, let's push this of buttons, which I could probably automate this with the voice eventually. But, there we go. Does that look more like the cockpit? I think it does. Yeah. Now we're at nighttime. There you go. Could use some red lights still, but you can see the red lights, see? So it looks pretty good, right? I think it does. And we only have about 45 minutes of flight left here on our flight across. Part 1, coming back from Vulcan, Alberta, Canada. Wow. Did I say that right? I did. Calgary area, and we're going all the way back to Plymouth, Massachusetts eventually. We're going to do it in legs, so. But we are definitely getting there. Good on fuel, we're about halfway, which is about normal. And I have not made the next leg of this, but if I were, See if I can find out what we'll be doing next time. I just spelled Sky Vector, Sky Convector. That's awesome. That's awesome. Not. So CYBR. Aviation Mike. We're about 10.5 hours of flight away. It's probably less than that in the Cirrus. We'll be about 6-7 hours away from Plymouth. Flight time, that is. So, if I were to do something like that, probably gotta cross into the United States, but I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know if we'll deviate. We might stay in Canada, honestly, until we get to upstate New York. That might be the way to go. That's another station. So I'll make it realistic like I did before. So. And right there's 233 nautical miles. Might be going to Thunder Bay next time. Charlie Yankee Quebec Tango. That will be about 2 hours of flight or so. Yeah, and then we'll see from there. That'll take us right to Lake Superior. Probably should show you what I'm doing this on. Sketching it out here. So we'll take off from Brandon, go all the way to Atikokan Municipal. Where is that? That's in Ontario. And then we'll fly to Thunder Bay. That'll be pretty cool. Probably land there. That'll be the second stream. Then, where else are we gonna go? This is how I do it. I just do it direct. And it's 877 miles to go. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Probably. It's over the station. Muskoka Lakes, or something like that. Or we could go right down to Toronto, to be honest with you. Billy Bishop there. Could have some fun with that. That way, what is that? How many nautical miles? Yeah, it's like 503. And then we'll do a deviation at Niagara Falls. See that scenery from Jefferson 2001. Head back to Plymouth. That sounds good. But anyways, that's not a given. But that's pretty much what I'm looking at to get to Plymouth. So. Zoom out the range here. Brendan's right over there. Not much to see. I heard that the stars are lined up and you can't use them for celestial navigation, so that's something else that I might want to look into learning just for fun, maybe over the summer. We'll see. There's some traffic out there, you can see a lot better at night. I just think there's a lot of stars here, though. Like, I think they have to do like they did with that stars mod on FSX there, and go by luminosity and what the human eye can see. So it just seems like there's a lot of stars. But one thing I always liked doing as a kid is finding the little dipper. So we'll see if we can do that. Or the Big Dipper. Doesn't matter. Either one. That's a plane. I didn't see it. Yeah, we got a little correction there. There it is. I don't know if it's the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper, but there it is right there. So. Well, that's interesting, Mr. Autopilot. What's going on there? Okay, anyways, we have not gotten an updated pressure setting here, so let's get the weather ready for Brendan, if we can find it, which I think we're gonna be too far out still, but Charlie Yankee Bravo Romeo, Manitoba information. It is an airport of entry. Elevation is 1,343 feet. CTAF is 122.1, and that's all we have. So there's no weather there. It does have an ADF though of 233 on it. So, and it has a VOR 113.8. So let's put that in. Let's have some fun with that. Just backup navigation here. Is that nav 2? Oh, I meant nav. No, that should be nav 1. Oh. It's 0.82, by the way. It's not 9. Here we go. Alright, so that is nav 1. Okay. I got it. I know what I'm doing. Okay, let's identify it, which I think we're too far out. We're way too far out. Anyways, anything along the way that has weather? Not really. Gina Airport at 2999er, so we'll go with that. Actually, I can see Brendan Airport. Weather station, Brendan Airport. Altimeter 3008. That's what it says on SkyVector. If we had flight following, which I'd want, then you'd see that stuff. Yep. What's that? Oh, because I'm descending a little bit. It's got a little flap sound going on. Change that one here because I'm seeing that is a little off from what I want it to be. That's it. Alright. Got it. Let's see if this works after. Alright, I'm gonna just double check to see if this is working. There we go. Yep. And then updated. Cool. Sorry, it's easier to put that link as that than what it was before. But alright, we are on our way. I'll get a little light in the middle here. Fuel, I'm going to switch to left. We're on boost, going to left. So that way, so we're not blinded by the light. Still a nice sunset back there. Alright, we got about 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes left. We're almost there, and we're going to make it on our flight tonight, so that is cool. Oh boy. Just checking my messages there. Alright. Just got not much to look at here. Sorry about that, just isn't. I'll show you the section. We're almost there. That's right over there, and there's really nothing in between. So that's the thing about Canada here. This part of Canada, it's big, wide expanses to get to another city. See if I can. I'm gonna test something with Nick Breslow's thing here. So Nick, if you're still watching, which I don't think you are, I'm gonna try something here. See if I can get it. Oops, sorry about that. See if I can have it display a message when you do your intro sound. See what happens with this. So I think I had them on Streamlabs chat bot, which only works half the time, which is why we got rid of it. So seem to have a little bumpiness here. Try off that chart there. Okay, kind of retiring this. There we go. Let's see if it'll actually give a shout out at the same time. I don't know if it will or not. Okay, let's see if we'll do this. Ready? I'm going to test it and see what it does. So this would be Nick typing in his command to get a sound. Does it do the shout out or not? I guess not, but it does everything else but. So that's pretty cool. So I guess we'll get rid of the shout out part. We'll do that whenever you do that, so that's cool. For Jet Pilot Cinnamon, because I made him sound too. There we go. Let's check out Jet Pilot Cinnamon. It's the last thing I'm going to test here.
Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, that works. Cool. Lad. We'll have to work on those other sounds. Spell that right. There we go. Alright, I'll test this last one because we've got time. There you go. So that works. Cool. Alright. 25 minutes to go until we're done with this flight around there. And we are right outside of Musomin. And I believe that might be Manitoba already. I'll double check that. Marshall McLeod Field. There we are. We are still in Saskatchewan, actually. But Musomin is over there. There's the airfield right over there somewhere. Seems to be a tower down there as well. Oh, is that that's a wind turbine actually. Oh yeah, cool. Well, pretty cool. just south of Summit, Saskatchewan. Just right there. There's some baseball fields down there. Pretty cool. That might be Brandon out there. If I'm looking at this. Yeah, could be. Have to see. Excuse me. Uh-oh. We have a raid from Nick Grisla. Nice. Thank you for raiding the channel, my friend. So there you go. Raiding the channel. Thank you, Nick Gresla. And welcome, everybody. We're just at the final parts of our flight here. We're about 20 minutes out from our final destination of Brandon, Manitoba. And hasn't been much to see scenery-wise. It was kind of cool that it turned nighttime here. But even when it was daytime, there's a lot of farmland and stuff in Western Canada. So, but we're flying back from the Star Trek pilgrimage flights that I did earlier on stream. Ended about a month ago, and just was really busy. So we picked it up from there, and we're flying back home to my real-world home base of Plymouth, Massachusetts, but not tonight. This is only leg one. If you did want to see some of those Star Trek pilgrimage flights, they are archived on my Discord. It has the YouTube links. So right there, where you can do tinyurl.com/EF Discord. It'll take you to the same place. But yeah. Flying real world time and weather. That's why it's getting dark here. Or has gotten dark, I should say. We are in the Cirrus. Excuse me. Just literally biding the time until we get down there to the landing here. As far as winds and stuff, we're going to go by Sky Vector. Currently in Brandon, they are winds 070 at 7 knots, 15 square miles, visibility broken at 22,000. It's looking pretty good. Altimeter 3008, already have it set. So that's what it's saying on Sky Vector. Other than that, that's it. That's where we are. We're right a little bit past Soman Marshall McLeod Airfield. Charlie, yeah, can't talk anymore. Oh my God, Charlie Juliet Bravo 5. Soman, just past that back there. So Brandon could be that over there. So. That's about it. We switched to nighttime operations here. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. That's the last of the iced tea. So we gotta get there now. I'm not saying Western Canada is boring, but I am going to say that it takes a little bit of focus to stay on task here. I'm more of a celebrate my French-Canadian heritage by saying Montreal, Quebec. But see, you still got some. I mean, you got farmland around there, but you still have some civilization. You know what I'm saying? So, Kirkella, Saskatchewan, over there. They're little towns. They're there. Look at that moon. Wow. Look at that. We had some haze earlier in the flight from the wildfires out in Alberta. Excuse me. We're about 50 nautical miles out. And this doesn't look to be towered or anything. It just has a unicom. Runways are 826, 3214. Probably going 826 somehow. Here's the chart. Pretty easy to get to the parking there. There's the weather too. That's at 11:52. That's the most current. What's going on there? Man, that autopilot, it's just the jutting winds or something. Because that was weird. There's your no tabs. They do have an FBO there. Pattern altitude's about 2,350. And CTAF. Alright. I'm gonna keep the aerodrome chart there. So we're gonna need that. See that winds are 220. 070. Probably gonna go runway 8. So probably direct into runway 8 because we're right about there anyways. Excuse me. Turn off the tablet for a little bit. See a little of the scenery. And we are getting there. That indeed is Brandon on there, which is south of the airport. So the airport's gonna be somewhere over here, probably. So we are gonna have to descend down. What was it again? 1,000. 2,350 feet or so. It's probably a left pattern. That's what we're thinking at least. It doesn't matter because I'm going to go direct in, so. There's the airport right there, you can see it. Okay, we have to start descent pretty soon. No, I'm just going to take off the pilot. Let's start descent and get down there now. Actually, that is not the airport, believe it or not. It's out there still. What airport was that then? Was I heading towards? Oh, I was heading towards Spud Plains Airport. No, we need to go past that. We're still going to do our descent. Allison, tell him about the descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened, and all carry-on luggage is stowed safely and securely in the aircraft. Thank you.
There we go. Welcome to Brennan, Manitoba, coming up. We are officially, basically, in Manitoba now. You should see that airport sometime soon. Again, we're going direct in on the 8th. That's our plan for Brandon. Excuse me. That could be the airport. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, I'm gonna look at my speeds here. I think it's 1. Flat extension. 119, 104. Okay. It's the only thing I don't have memorized. Oh, excuse me. We're increasing the mixture as we get down here. About 50 nautical miles out. We'll report on that soon. Again, just our flight for tonight. Track here. All the way from Vulcan, Alberta to Brandon Municipal Airport here. Seems like we might have some smoke or haze out here as well. See what happens. There's the airport. See it now, so that's runway 8. I'm gonna go direct in. Thank you for everyone for staying up late with me tonight. Pardon me for yawning. Just haven't streamed in a while. Have been flying. But it's good to get out again. Just making a nice easy descent here to Brandon, Manitoba. Nice cop car down there. Brandon traffic, Cirrus Echo Foxtrot. We're about to 15 nautical miles or so to the west, and we're going to be going for an extended final. Full stop, runway 8, Brandon. Make sure see that we're at 3,000.
stick the landing. In this challenge, the pilot will do his best to avoid certain death by keeping the plane on a good flight path with a constant angle descent lined up to center line. Good luck. Stick the landing and don't suck.
Don't sucking is the most important part of that. Oh boy. That was me really landing a plane. I think that was New Bedford. Here we go. Extend it out here pretty well. And about 12 nautical miles. So. Brandon traffic, Cirrus Nautical Foxtrot, 12 miles out, extended final, runway 8, full stop, Brandon. Trimming it out here for a sleep. Descent. Excuse me about my allergies. Right. Couple of minutes, we'll be down. The airport dagger ready. Just got to turn right on Alpha. Worst case scenario at the end of the runway. So, let's try to go Alpha. It's a 6,000 foot long runway. A little closer with the turn. Make the throttle go down. Okay. Slow it down now. .119's flap extension speed, so that's why we're slowing it down now. And I'm gonna try to turn on my Toby eye tracker here. Helps me out, see? So I'm just gonna look at the screen and land this thing. Get those flaps in. Throttles up to get down there. First thing, flaps, angle down. Okay, full flaps. Should have about 85 by the end of it. Pretty good. 85 knots. Okay, throttles out. A little off center, but not bad. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the Tobii eye tracker this time. I'm gonna turn off on Alpha down here. Go to the terminal. Got pressure on the elevator here. Flaps up. And turning on to Alpha. There's the line. Okay, we are clear. Brandon traffic, Cirrus Echo Foxtrot clear of runway 8. Brandon. Alright, with that we have the checklist. Flaps are up. Power level 1000. Transponder stays on. Pitot heat is already off, and fuel pump can go off. We're good. So fuel pump off. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna taxi to the terminal. And I do not know what this looks like in real life, by the way. All I know is that I am in the right area here, so. This looks to be default scenery. Oh, look at that. There's a truck there. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna park near where that van is, I guess. Oh, there he is. Hello. Marshal's over there. Okay, I'm coming to you. Good. Alright, let's go to our checklist again to turn this thing off. Shutdown avionics are off. Fuel pump is off. Make sure we'll be cut off as soon as I turn off everything but the strobes. Okay. Make sure cut off. How many hours? 2 hours. Not bad. Because it said it was going to be more like 3 hours, but it's not. Alright. That is off. Magneto's off. Alternator battery off. Flashlight goes on automatically. We'll turn this light off. This one too. And we'll secure the aircraft by putting the parking brake on. Gonna turn off my tablet. And welcome to Brandon, Manitoba, everybody. That's kind of what the airport looks like. Maybe it is. I don't know if I have scenery or not. Let me see if I do. I'm just gonna tell you who did it. Who are you wearing tonight? Nope. This is all default scenery here. So, Brandon, by the way, is over here. So let me just actually turn off the camera following thing. And that's what it looks like. We can turn it to day after this. But, they have cops too. Oh, crikey, no kidding. Downtown Brandon. Alright, if you want, let's turn it to daytime. See what it looks like. Ooh, that's pretty nice with that little river through there. That's the airport over there. And here's Brandon, Manitoba. It's like a mall or something there. But anyways, this is where we're going to leave you for tonight. Just wanted you to see it during the day. Let's go to the airport during the day too. there, runway 8. Came down here, Alpha, and parked right there. Very nice. Alright, let's go back to real world time, which is what we flew tonight. And that's it from Manitoba. I'm going to say sayonara. And if you are with me, we will be raiding someone, but then I'm going to bed. Look at that moon. Boy, that is one heck of a scene right there. That's a screenshot moment. Alright, so anyways, thank you to Nick Reslow once again for the raid and coming on out. I'll do one more shout out to you, sir, because you deserve it. I also want to thank Digi Driver for coming on out. He's going to be streaming a little bit later. He's building Siri for my real world hometown airport of Plymouth. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys soon. Guys and girls. Just have to find some time. I'm going to have to go back to teaching tomorrow. Correct some grades, get things done. Graduation on Friday. Have to take the band out there and do that. And then we got a long weekend, so maybe sometime during the weekend. But I'll try to fit one in this week if I can. So stay tuned. Join the Eric Flight Discord, again, up here, or tinyurl.com/EF Discord. And I will see you soon, but we're going to be rating someone. Without further ado, though, we're going to end the stream. And you have a great evening. I'll see you later.